So I think next I want to play a different warp build. So this is an energy focused warp build. I know we just went from no energy to energy, but I also really want to try Lightstall Inquisitor. We also get to play Haliya for the first time. I think with that, I'm going to adjust the sideboard to include more Wrath Disguise. I was a little bit worried about playing it with this like really low mana curve, but there's just too much affinity today. Okay, so this is blue-white energy featuring Haliya, Lightstall Inquisitor alongside Quantum Riddler and Starfield Shepherd. This is, I think, our highest density of Edge of Eternity cards. We're playing 15 in the main deck. I don't know how good Inquisitor is, so we're going to kind of cast it for the first time and play it. It's a 1-mana 2/1. When it enters, your opponent exiles a card from their hand, and it costs 1 more to play, or if it's a land, it enters tapped. I'm pretty interested in copying this with Mockingbird. I'm interested in flickering it with Phelia too. I think that that's kind of interesting. Phelia goes like weirdly, really, really hard in this deck with 11 warp creatures to flicker alongside the Lightstall Inquisitors. Haliya also I think is pretty interesting. I think this is a good shell to try it in. Gives you redundancy. The Guide of Souls, obviously not the most complicated card. If you don't know, it warps for 1 mana. Whenever it or another artifact or creature enters, you gain 1 life. And at the beginning of your end step, if you draw a card, if you gain 3 or more life this turn. And so you can go like Guide or Haliya into Guide Pride, and then you get to gain 3 life. And so I think I want to do something like 2 Clarion Conqueror, 3 Wrath Disguise. It's just so mandatory to play this card right now. I've not been seeing a lot of Titan. The Titan matchup is quite bad. I think I'm just going to go down 1 Ashiok, 1 Deafening Silence, and then let's get in there. 0 Ranger Captain. Well, yeah, I think Starfield Shepherd, it just totally replaces Ranger Captain. Definitely going to keep this. Yeah, this is our first deck with Haliya. She was good so far. We did have to reset the league to change a land. I'm testing Lightstall in my Blink deck. It's really good when I play Avid Interrupter. That's a good combo, yeah. What do you think of Domination, Bracelet, and Hammer Time Shell? It's just way too win more. Way too win more, I think. Be very fun. Hopefully Solitude Ephemerate is good against our opponent. Just musing on the future. I know, Panda. I've just bantered with you because I know you can take it. It's incredible 1 and 2 drop and 2 drop. I know it's if you're gonna top deck on turn 4 or 5, it's sad. That's fair. I mean, our deck is really good at late game grinding though, so I think that if Lightstall isn't here, I do think it's probably a 4F, but that is a good point. We could maybe ephemerate it. They exile a Thought Knot Seer. They play if near Deadland, so they're playing the black Eldrazi build. Maybe they like Fatal Push it. Can they Fatal Push in the instep? It does still have the 1 extra cost. I wasn't really sure how that worked when I was first reading the card. I really like Ranger Captain. Is any reason why we're playing Haliya over Ranger? Yeah, we have 4 Starfield Shepherds, so like our Ranger Captain effect to me feels really covered. Like we have 4 Starfield Shepherds. This seems like an upgrade to Ranger Captain in this archetype. We're also playing Haliya over Ranger Captain because we're testing the new cards. So. Yet again, I'm not super interested in the in playing non-new cards, but also Haliya is really good too. We're testing the new cards. Okay, so they can play their Solitude here. Let's Solitude. I don't know if I'm going to Ephemerate or not. I guess if I just draw Quantum whatever, then, or it's a Warp card, then that's what they're going to take. Which I did do, so I got punished for casting this. I think I'll Ephemerate. Like, they're going to take the Starfield Shepherd, and then I have another Ephemerate for the Solitude that's in play. But they do know about it, which makes it a lot worse. But they're a Fatal Push deck, so they might have a hard time dealing with this. Did ever brew around the Triad? I've tried to off stream. I have never succeeded on stream. So we get to draw a card off Haliya. Let's go. Great top deck. Could warp it, I think, just better to cast. We are tapped out of Ephemerate, but that's kind of okay if they know about it, right? How often do you get new ideas for your brews when someone else plays against you? Sometimes for sure. I like to talk about when I do deck techs, like where the idea came from, if something like that happened. I'd say it happens usually a few times a set. I want to jam Cosmic Wave in a shell that flings it right of consumption or something. I'm interested in doing stuff like that too. There's Cosmic Wave has definitely felt like it's worth continuing to. They got 4 cards in their hand. They know I have an Ephemerate. They don't know about the Mockingbird. And they just pass. Well, I don't need to worry about flash creatures very much with the Ephemerate, so let's just attack. So if my Haliya lives, I get to draw another card. Haliya's been really, really good so far. Still early. They cycle a Troll of Khazad-dûm. I'm talking more specifically about this kind of thing where someone's playing my own idea against me. Well, I mean, this does happen pretty often, but I guess I don't know what the question is with that. Just kind of used to it. All right, let's save the Ephemerate. We can go Pride, Mockingbird. I guess that only gains us 2 for Haliya purposes. Maybe I 5 mana Mockingbird. Okay, I think I'm down for that. I think that they just drew this Nethergoyf because they just played it, right? And they would have cast K-Command if they had it last turn, so it's kind of tough for them to have anything super good here. Ephemerate Solitude. We obviously could do that too, but I think saving the Ephemerate is something I'm pretty interested in. Maybe I shouldn't be. Okay, so they have a Bitter Triumph. That's not the easiest card to play around. We have a 2/3 flying Nethergoyf now. It's because it's not intuitive. They want to make sure you know Haliya's ability is worded such that if you gain the... Oh, okay. Thank you. That's. I didn't realize that. So that would have changed my line. I didn't realize Haliya still triggered. These kind of effects oftentimes don't trigger if you didn't gain 3 life. So you can stack the trigger where Pride would have gained us the life. That's really good to know. Although it looks like they are going to Solitude my Haliya here. And then probably attacking for 3. Still in pretty good shape. Life total super duper high. They're going to go up to 11. We top deck a Starfield Shepherd, which I think I want to... Yeah, let's Ephemerate it. So I think I'm going to grab Mockingbird and then Guide of Souls, like a Mockingbird the Shepherd next turn maybe. Are we sure that's how it works? Yeah, I think so, because she just triggered on the instep, despite me not having gained... Oh, I did gain 1 life. I do think that's how it works. Well, I guess we'll have to confirm. I agree she's way better. Have you ran into Starfield Shepherd, Sam combo list? Feels pretty easy to add to the deck. I haven't, no, but that seems like... I agree there's something there. Seems totally fine. -1 life if you had Ephemerate Guide. Yes, yeah, that's true. You have a Mardu Blink version? No, I don't think there's like a lot of reason to be Mardu. What's your idea there? Dude, I drew Quantum Riddler. How do you outgrind our deck? Scap with the 21 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Oh boy. I'm glad we, even though we were up again against Prowess, dropped to fix the mana. This build might be kind of special. So they are an Urza Saga deck. I think I might just run it back though. Matchup seems great. Worth noting, the Inquisitor wasn't great there. Did eat a shield fatal push? Let's keep this one. Yeah, we did 4-1 last league. Runs on a Multa 6 on the play. Definitely interested to see if this ends up being a really good Phelia target or if it's just kind of whatever. They exile an Emperor of Bones. They play an Eldrazi Temple, and then they K-command me. So a good way to unmulligan. They make a spawn token, which implies they have a Thought-Knot Seer, maybe? I will say I'm very surprised they made a spawn token. So I'm not going to be able to Witch Enchanter this saga. Oh, I guess I can next turn. Or in 2 turns before it comes down. So you just have a second K command. Interesting. And this time they scry draw. Yeah, it seems like it was a mistake for them to not scry draw. Not the biggest mistake, though. So next turn, if they just hold up, make a Saga token, then we can go cast Phelia. Anything we can do with Haliya here? Not quite. We can go cast Phelia, and then we can go cast Witch Enchanter, and if they just make the Saga token, we can Phelia exile the Saga token. Or I guess we could target the Witch Enchanter, but then they just chump block, but then we get an extra counter on the Phelia. So that's what we're hoping they do, is that they just hold up the activation. A little bit worse if they have a Fatal Push. They do still have this Emperor Bones in exile, cost 3 mana. They do have a Thoughtseize, so they're going to take my Witch Enchanter, probably. Two cards in their hand. A lot of insane top decks. That's not one of them. So we are going to now have to warp the Phelia away. It's a little awkward. We're 1 shy away from gaining 3 life. If they make a Saga token, though, we can Phelia flicker it, so they're probably not going to make one. Okay, they made one. Surprising. They could have another removal spell, I guess. They grab a Shadow Spear. I'll be very surprised if they just equip the Shadow Spear. Yeah, so maybe they have the Fatal Push. Let's get a Surveil. The graveyard this Ephemerate could be okay. Just have too many good 5-drops in our deck. Not one of them. Kind of a weird draw step pause. I'm going to go ahead and throw this up. I think we'll play Haliya. Whenever they just have a pause on the draw step, I like to put the hand hider up. I think that's pretty valid. Alright, they've got a Fatal Push. Yeah, a draw step doesn't play around draw and Ephemerate very well, but it's just a little bit weird. Alright, I'm down to 14. They're going to correct the bobble. They still have the Emperor Bones too. Cost 3 mana though. So 4-point life swing, 8-point life swing, I guess. A lot of good top decks. They have a Thought-Knot Seer. Okay, my last card's just an Ephemerate. Is that the 4th one? 3rd Ephemerate. Might as well rebound since we can't attack. Get to gain a life. Play land. Might have to settle this in game 3. Pretty flooded. Got a lot of 5-drops in my deck. Let's maybe draw one next turn. Solitude, Quantum Riddler, Shepherd, all just totally bail me out here. Interesting they're not cracking the bobble. They play an Urza Saga for turn. I guess I don't crack the fetch because I'm at 5, so I want to be able to block one of these. So I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I should be able to draw a card here too. Assuming we're right about how these triggers stack. I think I'm not attacking, but that might be wrong. Yeah, I think we get to Kitty's Blessing into gain 3 into draw a card. Could be a Solitude. Okay, your turn. So we're at 8 life, which means we do need to make a block. I guess they can also grow the construct by 1 when they make the Saga token. Maybe they drew a Thoughtseize. Maybe they're going to go for the Emperor of Bones. Emperor doesn't have a lot to get. Okay, they drew a Bitter Triumph. Multiple Bitter Triumphs in the deck is interesting. Let's block here. And then they do go for the extra damage. There's probably not a huge difference between me being at 3 and 2, right? So I think I'm fetching to thin. That might be wrong. We also might get to use all the mana if we draw Quantum Riddler. Okay, I drew a Starfield Shepherd. So I can go Warp Starfield Shepherd, Mockingbird Starfield Shepherd, and then get a 1-drop. Problem is they can block my Ocelot. Meadow with the 25 months. Thank you. Welcome back. So I think I probably have to get another Ocelot. Maybe. Oh, I guess I get a Mockingbird and then I copy this. So now I have a flying Ocelot for next turn. Assuming I'm alive. I'm not sure that I think I can live here. Yeah. So copy Ocelot, get in for 1, and then I make 2 tokens. I think I'm alive, but we'll just see what happens. Maybe we're dead. So we go block, and then this is 5, and then I put 3 toughness. I guess it just goes to 7. I think we're dead. I don't think we did a better line though. Just took way too long to draw a 5-drop. They're not making a Saga token too. Probably doesn't bode well. Alright. So game 3 we go. Yeah, let's just run it back. I have draw steps on in case I'm randomly playing a card like Hologon's Command. Well, I just add the draw step upkeep stops if I need them for a turn. Again, it's okay. I just like when opponents like time things weird and they and they just have a draw step stop that didn't seem to be there earlier, then I like to throw up the Anhider. I agree they could be innocent, but I just feel like I like to have it up for my own sanity. Yeah, Starfield Shepherd looking quite good. So the Inquisition, my hand is 2 Phelias, and the rest are lands, so they take a Phelia. Yeah, I do know that them having a draw step stop is not for sure ghosting. Yeah, they didn't cast the Emperor the whole game. I think it was just... I don't think they necessarily forgot about it. They just had something different to do with their mana. Very hard card to evaluate. So play a 2/3 Goyf. They hold up a mana also. Play the Phelia. They have push. They probably should use it right now, right? think we're just getting in for 4, trying to. Okay, never mind. Your turn. So they attack me for 4, or for 3. I'm down to 14. They can't cast the Thought-Knot Seer. They might have a K command though. They have a Bowmaster. Pretty good. 3 cards in their hand, and then a Thought-Knot Seer they can cast for 5. They might do that here. They cast Shadow Spear first. Could still cast the Seer, I guess. Maybe they were just forgetting about it. Hard to tell, obviously. Well, I think we got a Solitude Ephemerate. Hope we surveil into some action. I think killing the Shadow Spear is like better than the average top deck, but it's kind of. But certainly we have many better draws like Quantum Riddler and Starfield Shepherd and Haliya. It's also weird not to play the 5th land with so many 5-drops, but I think this is okay. It's also just good to have the hand empty because of the Thought-Knot Seer. Okay, so they deadlands my Solitude. Good play. They do so right before I top deck Haliya, so I'm not quite able to draw a card from the Solitude life gain. They have a Deluge. Okay, so they're down to 0 cards in hand. They do have the Thought-Knot Seer. They haven't played it yet, so it's possible they have forgotten about it. Although it's possible they just wanted to play all their other stuff. They might deadlands my Guide of Souls. That'd be pretty cool to see 2 deadland kills in the same game. It doesn't happen that often, and I've played a lot of deadlands lately. Yeah, it does feel like if I just ever draw a Riddler, this match is kind of hard to lose. Okay, 5th land is not nearly as bad a draw as it looks like, because now it unlocks Hardcast Solitude, Hardcast Shepherd, Hardcast Riddler. So main phase K command for 4. Almost definitely would be right to hold that up, I think. I am only playing 2 Surveil lands in this build. Do you hardcast your warp cards if you draw them? I think no. I think you don't cast them so that you can just get max value. They keep 2 on top, 2 on the bottom. So many good draws. Another land. Your turn. They play an Eldrazi Temple. Seems they remember the Seer. They remember the Seer. One less bad draw out of the deck. I drew a spell. They definitely have action because of the K command. I'm down to 14. We're both at 14. They just have removal. They don't fire off another big K command, which is good news. They do find another, or an Urza Saga, which is not the best. They definitely have removal in their hand too, but thankfully we've got a lot of ETB value we can try to find. I'm going to pass the turn again. Okay, so I do have a spell. I've got the Solitude here. But we have Witch Enchanters as our utility land, and I think that that's the best one you can play. Okay, so now my hand is Plains Ephemerate, so I guess I should Ephemerate this for the energy. I've been sandbagging a K command? Why are they tapping the Urza Saga? Do they have to? I don't have to. Come on, Starfield Shepherd. Come on, Quantum Riddler. Come on, Solitude. We have 8 of the really good warp creatures. We also have Haliya, which wouldn't quite be great here. We just have like 8 insane draws. We haven't seen any of them this match. They're down to 14. They play a swamp. They do keep 2 on top, so their hand is, still full. 2 good spells and another good spell on top. I'm gonna pass the turn here. Hit some spawns. I don't know what that means. Okay, they Fatal Push. Yeah, Haliya's look good. I agree, but worse when you're flooding and top decking than the other ones. They grab a Bauble. They Emperor of Bones. Are they gonna Thought-Knot Seer? No way, right? Thought-Knot Seer's not even in the yard. They do target Haliya. They do throw it at me. So I'm taking 6 down to 5, and I did top deck Phelia. Come on. Spell. Drew Island. Dead. Brutal. Do we have to mulligan this one lander? I don't think we have to. We have Solitude Ephemerate. I think we should. Okay, this hand's a lot better. I think I want to keep Quantum Riddler over Starfield Shepherd. That might not be right in this spot. Both seem good. Opponent's on the Multi 5. So I think we lead on the... Well, I guess we lead on Guide, so we can go Guide into... Guide Inquisitor jump something. Although these are good on turn 1, obviously. So Ephemerate's insane. Insanely good. Especially if we find a land in the top 2. After game 2, Sol Deluge, in these style of matches, is an argument for to bring in your own sweeper and try to go slower. There's an argument. I just think that we could have brought in Wrath Disguise. I would have loved to top deck a good spell at any point in that game, and we did draw. We drew 1 Solitude, and then it was just literally like all lands and like 2 Guide of Souls for like 7 turns. So I feel like it was okay to sideboard the way we did, and we got very flooded in games 2 and 3, and we could move on. You could bring in Wrath if you wanted to. Did I try Lightstall and just got Wizard Shell? No, we've kind of like... There was a time, obviously, where we were really trying to get new good wizards for Flame of Fëanor. That time has passed. I'm not really like looking to put this in like a Wizard Shell. I don't think it fits archetypally. I think it just is a 1-mana wizard, but I don't think it's like a good 1-mana wizard for the archetype. Alright, so they exile a Scion of Draco here. The black deck is just very hard to outgrind. I mean, we super outgrinded at game 1, and we got very, very flooded in both sideboard games. I don't know. We just didn't draw a Quantum Riddler or a Starfield Shepherd in 24 cards game 2. Wow. You don't have a counter spell, do you? No, you got a Binding. So I guess I am not going to go for the Ephemerate. Should I cast Ocelot? I think I think that they're going to cast Binding on a Guide of Souls is the thing. Although maybe they're going to do that after after my Warp trigger resolves. Nope. Destroyed. Probably reaching thoughts on Glimpse of Tomorrow deck using the warp cards. Well, the thing is, like, Quantum Riddler is so generically good, but for the most part, the other ones, like Starfield Shepherd, require a lot of deck building support. I guess the one that what's the one I'm thinking of? That the enchantment that's like a Field of the Dead. That one could be good for that role. So they got 2 cards in their hand. They already have a Scion of Draco in exile for the Inquisitor. They have to put one of these cards in there too. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so we do get Kitty's Blessing. I'm not using that game as an example. I'm just thinking if one has a sweeper to try to get under them is also risky. Yeah, I agree. You can play. You can bring in your sweeper. That is fine. It's not super clear what's best, but it's a fine strategy. I just think in general we're the aggro deck in that matchup. Oh, they exiled a Fable. The Inquisitor has been really good this game. It's a really hard card to evaluate. It's almost like we need to submit a Google form to our opponents, like, hello opponent, thank you for the game. How good do you think Lightstall Inquisitor was this match? But it seems like it was really good. Like, I think it stopped them from casting the Scion of Draco this turn, and the Fable was going to be really annoying for them to cast too. Alright, so Consign is my answer to Leyline Scion. Maybe not the best answer, but it's what we got. I guess we also have Witch Enchanters. I do think I'm going to probably cut the Inquisitors on the draw for the Consigns. We better get Mocking there instead of second Pride. So the thing is, if they have Bolt for the first Pride, then it's not better. And they didn't they have the red up, or did they? They had at least 1 mana up per removal spell. There's a card in Marvel Snap that does a similar thing. It's hard to evaluate. Yeah, I can't. What is that? Is that? It's not Kitty Pride, is it? It's been so long since I played Snap. I played a lot of that game though. I really liked it. I just put it down one day and never picked it up again. After playing it every day for months and months. Maybe they'll sponsor me again. I think we keep this on the draw against Domain Zoo. They keep 7. Oh, is Iceman? Yeah, maybe it is. Again, it's been a long, long time. Alright, so hold up Consign / Surveil. I think we still, even drawing the Fountain, play the Mesa. Obviously love drawing the land. Would not have expected High Noon to get boarded in. I think I'm going to keep the Pride on top even though we're looking for lands. I kind of like just going like cast Guide, hold up Solitude, Consign, cast Pride, then cast Pride, hold this up. I like that this can stop Flage and Binding from being a removal spell too, so it's like they have to have exactly Bolt. Maybe they have a Bolt, but this is just another dynamic. Yeah, the Leyline makes the triggers a little bit harder to read, I guess. Yeah, Subzero Solitude Ephemerate. So it's not like the worst card they could have brought in. Draw another Consign. Flooded Foothills, so they're only 2 cards away from getting Flage. You do have the Solitude for Flage, though. Nice that they can't counter back, because there's a High Noon in play. Green Wire, thank you for the 29 months. Hope you're doing well. Doorkeeper Thrall is literally so unbeatable here. I can't. My deck cannot beat Doorkeeper Thrall. That's embarrassing, I guess. I guess I could Phelia, flicker it, and then consign the return. Okay, I guess that's a plan. Okay, we could beat it. So they don't get their ETB effect on the Flage. They are gonna get to kill something on the next attack because I can't Phelia. I guess I could main phase Phelia then consign the Flage trigger if I draw a land. Okay. Definitely don't mind drawing the white card though. Pride is lifelink. I mean it's just a 1/2 though. Yeah, we did draw all 4 consigns, huh? So they only have 1 card in their hand. Let's hope it's not very good. Also, y'all remember Gigantha? Oh wait, they have High Noon activation up. Dude, if I lose to High Noon activation, that's so sad. Cal Panda, thanks for the raid. Hope you all are doing well. We're losing the High Noon activation here. No, we are not. Okay, maybe we are, but we're passive the turn. So we're hoping we can go Phelia on top, exile Doorkeeper Thrall, Solitude the Flage. Oh, we can Solitude the Flage and we can replicate Consign to scam our Solitude and to stop the Thrall from returning. Why not Solitude at my turn? Well, there's a Doorkeeper Thrall in play, which stops Solitude from doing anything. Doing good, Panda. Hope you're doing well, too. Alright, they're pausing like they have something, so that's not great because I can't beat anything. Maybe they don't. Maybe they have another Doorkeeper Thrall. Let's go to combat. So I could Starfield Shepherd, get a white card, pitch it, then consign the return. I think that's worse than trying to scam my Solitude into play. Not worth chumping for 6 life. I'm going to get rid of the Flage. So here's the line is evoke Solitude in my instep. If they have another Doorkeeper Thrall, we'll lose the game. Okay, so we go exile the Flage, and we replicate Consign to counter the evoke and to counter the Phelia trigger. Or did you mean last turn? I guess we could have done it last turn. Don't get stub force. Well, I have a second copy. It's gonna be a crazy game to win. Should let the exile first happen because of stub. That's true, yeah. Okay, so they have 3 cards in their hand. Yeah, Phelia definitely been looking good. They also, how could they ever expect that my last card is the 4th Consign to memory too? How could they ever, in their wildest dreams, play around the 4th Consign in this spot? Yeah, I guess Flames might get the job done. Although they have to have it this turn because we're about to gain 4 life. I don't think there's a lot of a reason to surveil. We're mostly just wanting to make sure we keep it up at least. Oh, sorry, I should have played the Pride so that I could flicker it for the Phelia. Kind of minor. Oh, I guess that's actually worse because then we don't get the Pride trigger. All right, we connect. We're out of double flames range. I wouldn't expect them to sandbag Wrath the Skies. They could have, I suppose. It's not like we don't have outs to that. Yeah, I think that I'm not going to consign this. I think that we're probably a little bit too weak to a Scion of Draco. And like we're so ahead on board here that it seems like the main way we lose is like them binding this and then they have Scion. They also did play around the Consign, or like I don't know why they didn't like do that first. It was a little bit of weird timing. That's 6, 7, 8, 9 plus 2. I guess, could have lethal in play. They pass back. Yeah, this attack does put them to 1, if my calculations are correct. Okay, hold that for the binding. See if we get Wrath. We're even going to be out of triple flames range. We also beat a Scion now. Game continues. They got 3 cards in their hand still. I imagine one of them is a land at least. There's an Arena of Glory. Does it feel like they're sandbagging a Scion? Am I getting paranoid? Maybe a little paranoid. Oh, I miscounted too. I thought they were going to 1. I guess they went to 2. It just feels like they have extra stuff. Maybe they just are sandbagging the Pyroclasm. It's a big hit to take if you're sandbagging Pyroclasm, though. Hasting this Kavu is pretty bold because I'm just 1 energy away from lethal, but maybe they feel like they need to draw something. So they discard a Leyline. I think that makes sense for them to have in their hand. I'm taking 5 down to 11. They have 2 cards left. Okay. I could go for lethal here, and I lose to exactly Lightning Bolt. Oh, that's right. If I get energy, Kavu can't block anyways. I think I'm going for the kill. I beat Leyline Binding. I don't know that they would have let me untap if they had Lightning Bolts with the guide. Flames is a sorcery. Yeah, a throw would be bad, although like they'd have to chump block with it, so. Or yeah, they would also like if they played a throw, like they would just do it in response to Solitude, so when like we would have a 3/2 in play at least. Okay, cool. So 1-1, cool. 2 cool matches, I guess 3 cool matches, and we dropped while we're up a game to change the deck. Deck is looking good. Deck's more fun than I thought it would be too. This seems like a card you can't play in Modern. Okay, this hand's great. We found a Quantum Riddler. Welcome home. Yeah, I agree. I think there wasn't any point in keeping the Kavu back. It was definitely right for them to haste it. I don't know why it surprised me. Like, we might test a Serum Powder Goyf deck, but expect me to draw Serum Powder in really inconvenient times the whole time. Okay, they exile a Quantum Riddler. So their hand must be good. Maybe I'll warp Riddler turn 2 and I'll scam Shepherd for more board presence. I'm not sure. Watery Grave Riddler, so maybe Goryo's? Probably takes Ephemerate. Maybe Looting and Fable solve that. Maybe. Solve is a word that's, holding a lot of water there. I encourage you to try it if you think it's like good and interesting. It definitely seemed like there's a lot of gamers out there who are interested in this plan. Yeah, it's either Goryo's or Esper Blink. Obviously, Phelia was an insane draw. 2-1 Vigilance kind of good against Phelia too. We're getting a land from Shepherd. Let's see. Probably not. We have the Witch Enchanter. I can maybe Ephemerate the Inquisitor and then play Phelia this turn. It's too telegraphed, I think. I think I should just Ephemerate my Shepherd. We're gonna go Guide, Pride, Mockingbird next turn. Might Mockingbird the Inquisitor. You're already down to 10. Graveyards of Thoughtseize. Yeah, I didn't realize how good this was against warp cards because you just can't warp from exile. Do they have the Ephemerate? Maybe they have Ephemerate and Solitude and they're deciding which one's better to target. They target the Riddler, which I agree is probably the right call. Finks with the 43, thank you, welcome back. So if they had Solitude, they probably would have Solituded in response, so I think we could mostly rule them having that out. Just trying to decide if I want to copy the Guide so I can jump this turn. I think jumping this turn so I can actually start getting through the 4-6 is probably right. Oh, right, I ephemerated this, damn it, sorry. Although getting access to a double jump on this is also good. So they rebound the Ephemerate, they get to draw another card. Flightless King with the Twitch Prime, thank you so much, hope you're doing well. The Impending and Overlord. Phelia, Overlord, they grab a Phelia. Do they have a land to play for turn? They do, but it's not a white land for a possible Phelia. They Thoughtseize me. Probably has to take the Ephemerate, right? Yeah, I can still main phase the Phelia so I could jump the Lightstall Inquisitor. I might be able to send with everything actually. If I want to just not play around a Solitude. Could just Solitude the Riddler. Seems like that's better. So I think they live if they have Solitude. I don't think they die if they don't. We have 5 plus 6 plus 2, which is 13. We have played Rakdos weapon manufacturing with Arcbound Ravager and Viper. It's been pretty cool sometimes. Like 6 matches. I do think that there's something there too. Do they have Solitude? Should they not have exiled the Guide? Maybe not. Yeah, the new cards are all sweet. Edge of Eternity is just best set ever. They do have it. They pitched the Phelia that we know about. What are they exiling? Maybe my Lightstall Inquisitor? They do target the Inquisitor, and then they take 9 down to 3. Then we get to trigger this with Kitty's Blessing and get 4 more energy for 2 more jumps next turn. They're at only 3 life. It's going to be very hard for them to stabilize here. The Quantum Riddler that got Lightstalled is, gone. For a second, I thought that was going to be Wrath Disguise. So I guess we would still be at Wrath with this. I think I like Inquisitor so far. I think that it has looked good in these leagues. it's very difficult card to evaluate. I can't say that I feel with great confidence that it's correct, but I think it's been worth playing so far. And I think it fits in this shell pretty well. Loving the Riddler Brews, the card's correct. Yeah, it's very, very fun one. So I think I'll bring in 3 consigns. I think I'll trim a Lightstall, a Mockingbird, maybe a Haliya. I think just trim one of each. Let's try that. Could maybe bring in your own Wraths. Let's not this time. I think that they just go like so much bigger. It's weird to bring in Wrath. How are y'all feeling about Lightstall Inquisitor? I think it's been good so far. I think it's like basically every time been really annoying for your opponent. We just need to get a Google form like how did you feel about this? How did this Lightstall Inquisitor make you feel? did you think it was good against you? Yeah, you could do Wasteland Strangler or Avid Interrupter to make this a little bit better too. Although it seems like it's also like a good Phelia flicker target too. I really like that it's just good to flicker with Phelia. Right, so they're holding up Fatal Put. Okay, we're very good at drawing all the consigns we board in. I think it's awkward turn 1 because they can just play a tap land. Well, if they play a tap land turn 2, then turn 1 on the play. Yeah, I don't know. It's modern. But yeah, maybe it's a bit awkward. They exile a Delta, and then they Fatal Push. And they play the Delta tapped. Good exchange. They maybe thought it would enter untapped because they killed the Inquisitor. Maybe it feels better to play Guide with Consign / Surveil up. I got Usher the Fallen for Lightstall my Vintage Cube. Nice. Well, I guess I'm going to play this to grow the Phelia. It draws a bit awkward this game. Do you think Ephemerate should be banned? No. No, I don't. I think it's good that the Ephemerate decks tend to be good against Boros midrange. Boros Energy. I think it's really important that there are mid-range decks that go over the top of Boros Energy for the health of the format. I think that a lot of these Ephemerate shells are really weak to spell-based combo. I also really just like Ephemerate a lot. I definitely agree that it's been pushed a lot over the years, but I got my full house in my hand. But I certainly feel like there's like about 10 cards that should be banned before Ephemerate gets banned. They have a Consign. Okay, fair enough. 3 cards in their hand. Okay, probably not consigning the Trawl or ETB. Only 1 Surveillant? They have to have more Surveillance in their deck, right? Another weird draw step stuff. Where did that? Have they had the draw step stop this whole time? Then now there's a Surveil land. No, it's weird. They know my hand anyways. Yeah, I built a Seam Rip Enchantress deck. We'll maybe play that today. Maybe tomorrow. Do you think Birthing Pod with these warp cards would actually be good? Maybe. Good chance they have another Consign. Alright, I'm down to 8. It's not the highest life total. They have something? They play a tapped Witch Enchanter. 2 cards in their hand. They're casting something. They cast a Wisp to target the Witch Enchanter. So I guess we go... I think I'm kind of walking into a Consign maybe, but I'm going to go pitch Solitude. Same line as last time. I think have I unlocked this line? I'm gonna replicate so that I can get rid of the Flicker Wisp coming back, and I can keep my Solitude in play, and also exile their Wisp. So they might consign my Solitude ETB and my Guide of Souls trigger if they have it as their last card, which seemed kind of likely, but I guess that wasn't their last card. So let's get in there. Now we're winning the race. Weird attack. Yeah, I agree. Flicker Wisp being a good modern card is pretty dang cool. They're targeting the shadowy backstreet. Honestly, getting rid of their fifth land is a really big deal because it turns off Hardcast Overlord, it turns off Hardcast Solitude, it turns off Hardcast Quantum Riddler. So let me see if this resolves first. And it did, and yeah, I have two in my hand also, so let's Stone Rain them. I don't really like Modern being so dominated by Boros and Black-White X decks. We're not Black-White X right now. I think this deck's really good. I think the black based like rock decks are super underrated. They've been underrated for like months and months and months and months. They just are like continuously really, really good, and they're also good against Boros. Like this is one of the biggest modern dynamics that no one seems to talk about, is that Graveyard Trespasser, black mid-range decks, especially with K-Command, doesn't have to be with K-Command, are like favored against Boros energy. Like this is just like one of the weirdest matchup dynamics in the format. They're not good against the black-white decks though. But the black-white decks are weak to a lot of stuff. Alright, our hand was so awkward. I kinda can't believe we're in such good shape here. They do have a Phelia, but they probably don't want to clear my Solitude as a blocker. They do find Overlord, so they're gonna attack. They have nothing in their yard right now. But then they find an Avid Interrupter, which is not the hardest to play around. So really, it ended up really mattering that we stopped them from having the 5th mana. I'm gonna block this. So I'm at 14, they're at 17. We have the 3rd Consign here. And they have an Avid Interrupter in their hand and one more mana than me, and I've got the Guide of Soul Solitude and the Draw Step. Come on, Quantum Riddler. Take a Phelia. I guess I should main phase because we know that they have Avid Interrupter though. Would I trade Phelia for Avid Interrupter? I guess. I think with them having some Wrath the Skies in their deck, I'm okay with that. I'm still in 2017. I think Command is Kolaghan's. You know what? We have played like enough Kolaghan's Command lately that it is confusing again. Like that card actually got like pretty playable once they printed Corey Steelcutter, and Mox Opal got unbanned. It helps a little bit. Maybe I'm forgetting something. It's disappointing there isn't a green-based mid-range deck that beats up on Boros. I mean, that's true, but there are mid-range decks that beat up on Boros. I agree there's not a good green mid-range deck, period. Another match where we're just dying to draw our warp cards and can't. They're at 8, though. I guess they haven't been drawing their warp cards either. We got Hardcast Solitude up as well now. And there's a warp card. Let's just go to combat first. I mean, they have 3 spells in their hands, so there's like I think a high enough chance we get Phelia that I want to hold up the Solitude right now. What about the Birthing Ritual Simic deck? I don't think that deck is good against Boros. I think it is not like the worst though. So do we play the Solitude for lead? I don't think so. I think they could have Solitude Ephemerate pretty often. Let's just be patient against our opponent who's stumbling. Yeah. They pitched an Ephemerate, so good read, Spike. Here's a 5-pack of subs. Oh, I was just reading a chat. Okay. Yeah, I think now we warp Starfield Shepherd. We get an Ocelot Pride because we've gained life. And then we cast a Phelia on their turn. 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're, even if we play Phelia, we're 1 away from Kitty's Blessing. Not that I think I would necessarily. Boshi with the 60 months. Good read, Spike. Thank you, thank you. Alright, so there's their 5th mana back again. So a good chance we get hardcast Solituded, and then we use hardcast Solitude their Solitude after they Solitude my Phelia. Seems like the plan. There's like really no chance they don't have one here. Yeah, the Stone Raiding their 5th mana seems to matter so much in these matchups. So they're gonna get rid of my. They might. Yeah, they're gonna exile Phelia every time, and then I get their Solitude, and then they go up to. They go up to 7, and then they take 2 down to 5. Then we still have this, and then you got plenty of action in the tank now. It's so crazy that you could just like the warp is also adventure. Yeah, it's good that you can consign the warp. Although, like, what's crazy about these matchups is you just like the warp is good because you get this effect again later. Okay, so they're at 5. We have 6 points of power in play. Their last card in hand is probably a 5-drop though. They do have 5 mana. I know this looks like one long plains. They do have 5 mana. They probably have another 5-drop as their last card. Although I guess it doesn't really make that much sense for it to be another Solitude. So maybe I am wrong about that. Well, my one regret is this wasn't harder. Would that be the 4th Solitude though? I guess it would just be the 3rd. I don't think playing this other Pride is overcommitting because we just have the Starfield Shepherd if they do have a Wrath, and their Wrath doesn't kill my Solitude. Kind of said a mono white deck does not get to have Wrath Disguise. Or talking about our deck, we are playing Wrath Disguise. we have 3 in the sideboard. It's just Affinity is that popular. Dude, Wasteland Strangler against Warp is actually pretty good if Warp ends up becoming really popular. I don't love this hand, or even really like it. Let's mulligan. This hand's worse. Give me the 7 back. All right, keep this. I guess we'll just put back the Solitude and the Ephemerate, and then I think we'll lead on the Lightstall. Thoughts on Haliya? I've liked Haliya when we've drawn it. We haven't drawn it in a couple matches, but she was looking good the first couple times we drew her. Okay, the exile a Dismember. Dismember Polluted Delta is a little weird. Quantum Riddler is also good when you mulligan, but you gotta draw it. We win another long, grindy match without drawing Quantum Riddler. You just stop doing that. Okay, turn 1 Preordained. So we're gonna get the Guide Pride off. Gonna get to poke him for 2. Oh, actually, well, I guess we're not gonna be able to gain draw the card. So we go Guide, Haliya, then we've only gained 2, so I guess we'll still stick to the Guide Pride. But we will be able to gain 3 next turn, assuming they don't do anything, which is assuming a lot because we know they have access to a 2-mana Dismember. Painful though, but assuming they didn't, right? We would go Haliya. We would gain 2 life, 1 from the Haliya, 1 from the Guide of Souls. And with the Ocelot, we could stack the Ocelot Pride trigger to resolve first, and then gain the 3rd point of life. They have double Fatal Push, which is That's pretty tough. So I guess we'll just cast this, gain 1, get in for 3. Wouldn't Pride warp creature get a draw? Oh, sorry, it would have. Okay, that was better. Because we're on the mull to 5. It's good to know, though, that just Haliya and a guide gives you the card. Hard to play around double Fatal Push. They also have the Dismember still, but it costs an extra mana. They're casting another Preordain. They're at 10 live. Got a lot of good top decks. Quantum Riddler, the best one, followed by Starfield Shepherd. Looks like they're playing a Murktide. Murktide's going to be tough for us here. Can't quite cast that one. Haliya plus Pride on Haliya plus Guide. Yeah, maybe I misspoke, but I do understand that now. So unlikely that they're going to want to attack. Maybe they can feel comfortable enough with the Dismember. Although even if they spent all their mana on Dismember, they'd still go down to 5. So that doesn't seem like a very comfy attack to me. It does not seem like if I cast the Starfield Shepherd, it's going to resolve. I think I probably need to jam it. Yeah, I know it's a bit weird, but you can gain life before the trigger resolves, and then it does work. I know it's not very intuitive. Yeah, but if I cast this here, this also means like they don't get to like use the Dismember. I thought it worked that way too, but we were proven wrong this stream already. They're paying the Dismember main phase? That's really weird. Why are they doing that? Okay, they're undoing that. They're undoing, redoing. Okay, Haliya's been Dismembered. They have 3 cards. It's not like they need these cards in the yard, though. They're just playing around top deck Ephemerate. It doesn't really feel like solituding this Murktide and giving them 7 life is a good line. So let's go pass the turn. There's a frog. They crack down to 2. They grow the Murktide. Big difference between this being 9 and 10 power. They've got 2 cards in their hand. No need to Solitude right now. So now we Solitude the frog. If they have a counter spell, we concede. Well, yeah, they just discard both cards. Yeah, okay. Game 2, down a game. I want at least the first Rest in Peace. Probably the second. I think I'm going to go down... Let's go down 2 Mockingbirds. These can be a bit awkward against removal heavy decks. Have we Winter Night Stories with Riddler, Warp Riddler, Flashback for 1 blue? Not yet, but there could be something there, yeah. Yeah, I agree. Haliya, like, usually these cards are not templated that way, which is why I was confused. Tough mull to 5 that game, of course. I'm going to keep this one. Let's put back the Witch Enchanter. Okay, they imprint or exile a Consider to the Inquisitor. Just gonna warp the Riddler, I think, this turn. Finally drew a Riddler in a grindy matchup. But maybe a little bit of time before we get to use it. Yeah, so with Inquisitor, it's really simple. If a card is exiled to it at any point, it always just costs 1 more. Multiple Inquisitors don't do anything, nor does killing the Inquisitor. So it's like, I thought it worked that they, like, this had to be in play for the taxing effect to work at all. That's not the case. Okay, so they took 2, then they pushed the Inquisitor. It just always, like this is dead, now this Consider still costs 1 more. So in theory, like, this stops your, like, spam of the card, but it also lets you, I think we're gonna go for Guide Phelia. I think we're main phasing. They've already used one push, so they can be kind of removal light from this point. They do have the Consider, cost 2 mana though. So they can flip the Tamio. If they flip Tamio, my Phelia can just flicker it back, although that's not like that bad for them, I guess. What do they do with the preordains? They 1 on top, 1 on bottom, then 2 on bottom. Seems like I want to try to flicker my Starfield Shepherd instead now. So let's go Warp Haliya. We played against Prowess today. I don't think Prowess is very good at the moment. I think that Prowess is certainly in a really rough shape. Alright, so I'm going to grab Ocelot Pride here, I think. Well, that is kind of bad against Tamio. Maybe Lightstall Inquisitor is the best grab. It does seem like it's probably really annoying for them right now. I'm going to grab the Pride. And then let's see if they have a push for the Phelia. And then I'm probably grabbing a basic Plains off the Shepherd when it comes back down. Maybe I guess if I draw, I'll stack it to where I can draw this card first, and then we'll see. Okay, so stack the warp triggers last. Stack this. So gain another life. Draw a card. Draw an Inquisitor. It's an interesting one. Yeah, I mean, I think with the Quantum Riddler in exile, I think I just want to grab a Plains. So if they go Sweeper, I could just go Plains Quantum Riddler. Not 100%. I still have this in Warp too. Not totally clear. So they might cash in the Tamio to like push the Phelia. That's a pretty cool turn. Yeah, I think Storm is probably pretty underplayed at the moment. To me, it seems like it's probably good. So they have a Shoot the Sheriff for Phelia. Phelia has not gotten its Sheriff license for sure. So I could just cast Quantum Riddler. I could play a Lightstall Inquisitor and a Haliya. And then I would get to draw a card if my Ocelot Pride lived. Let's attack with the Starfield Shepherd first. I think I don't know, it's close. Because the Quantum Riddler is going to resolve unless they have Mystical Dispute, which that seems really nice. Although I guess all of this is going to resolve too. So yeah, let's do this. I get Kitty's Blessing too. If you target Tommy with Phelia, does it come back as... It comes back as a creature. Alright, so they exile a frog here. The Consider is like still uncastable. It's like weirdly so relevant. And then here we get to prove that we're gaining the last life off of the Pride trigger here. And then that's our third and fourth life, and then we get to draw a card off the Haliya. Very, very weird. Usually cards do not work this way, but apparently this one does. So they plus the Tamio again. They have a Frog that costs 3 and a Consider that costs 2. I think the Lightstall Inquisitors have been good. I was not expecting to like them as much as I am. I was kind of expecting to try them and feel like they weren't doing that much, but they have been definitely really good. Meat Hook Massacre kills everything but Haliya, which is kind of fine. We draw another one. I think we just go Starfield Shepherd for another Pride and then cast the Pride. Draw another card. Knock this Tamio back down to 2 over and over and over again. So they have 2 cards in their hand, 3 mana Frog, 2 mana Consider. To be honest, it seems like the single best one-drop in Standard, so I expect to be pretty good in other formats. So much text on one card. Cecil's probably better. Of course, they're very different. Yeah, definitely pretty different. So they main phase sack a Clue instead of casting the Consider. Probably better to have cast the Consider. That costs 2. And then they pass. Still can't kill the Tamio. I can attack. Riddler's still here. I don't think I'm going to cast it necessarily this turn, because it's kind of all I have left, unless they kill something. Okay. Oh, they're going after Haliya. Wow. Let's fucking go, dude. That's so lucky for me. This turn is going to be crazy. Thank you, opponent. I even get to kill the Bowmaster. This is... Oh, I could not believe how well this worked out for me. Because now I get to go... I get to draw 2 cards off the Riddler and a card off my Warped Haliya. Another Riddler, awesome. Yeah, Haliya is really, like, she's been way better than I thought she'd be, too. Let's go. Yeah, Quantum Riddler's art is really cool. Like, the flavor of, like, a Sphinx flying around in the cosmos is pretty... So they have an 8/8 Murktide. I can jump my Riddler to be a 6/8, which I guess isn't a very convenient amount. So I think I do want to cast Haliya again. Let's see if they counter this. They dress down. Alright, so I guess Tamio does still trigger, so we'll not be able to attack. Can Haliya make Soul Sisters viable again? Well, is this a Soul Sisters deck? We have 2 Soul Sisters. Guide of Souls and Haliya. You know, we've got Ocelot Pride. This is probably about as close as it's going to get. Alright, so they plus the Tamio to 7 loyalty. That is the magic number, unfortunately. They hardcast a Kaito. They double stun counter here. Start off with an Ocelot Pride. Haliya with Amalia isn't a vood try. You could. There's literally so much to do right now in Modern. It's awesome. I'm so happy. Oh, I get to draw 3, right? Because I have double Riddler. Let's go. Hopefully no scolding. Can I kill Tommy? I have so much power and toughness to play. I can put Tamio to 1 loyalty. So I guess we'll put Tamio to 1 and then kill the Kaito. Or sorry, no. Kill the Kaito and put Tamio to 3 loyalty. I guess we might as well rest in peace in Witch Enchanter. Although I don't think I actually have a fetchable that's untapped for my Arid Mesa. Yeah, there's just 2 archives left. Crazy that this game has been so grindy, and this is my first time I'm surveilling. Okay, so I warped the Riddler. I got a lot of triggers in the instep. Thank you, Magic Online, for just doing this all for us. We get to gain 12 life also. Would Enduring Innocence be a good option? No, I don't think. I think the card's just too weak and redundant. Just like we already have so much card advantage. I don't know why we'd want to play that one too, you know? Tamio has stopped like 90 damage this game or something. Crazy. Probably not quite that much. So they have 1 card in their hand. They have a Consider and a Frog, which they have, which are exiled to Inquisitors that they have not been able to play once this game, which is funny. Miss card if Warp was stacked last. Wait, what is Warping stacked? I mean, I'm gonna this Haliya isn't warped, is it? It's just in play. I drew an Ephemerate. Let's go. I guess I could have maybe drawn. Could have Ephemerated the Riddler. Don't know if I would want to do that. Feels like it's maybe overcommitting into another Meat Hook Massacre. So they play the Consider 8 turns later. Oh, for the card draw from the Riddler, I see. Yes. I'm sorry, I forgot that mattered. Good catch, good catch. Alright, so they can't fly the Frog. Draw a 3rd Quantum Riddler. So if I can jump some stuff with Guide of Souls, I could maybe get out of Wrath range. Let's go ahead and draw 3. You're casting for the warp cost? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Y'all, this might be better than regular Boros. Why is it draw? I have 2 Riddlers in play. There's one over here that was stun countered. Okay, can we finally kill this Tamio? I'm not even sure that we can. I really want to get like so I have 3 Guide of Souls jumps. So I think I'm going to put 2 on the Haliya and 1 on the Starfield Shepherd, which I know is maybe a little weird, but the only way we really lose this game, it seems, is to another Wrath Disguise, or sorry, another Meat Hook Massacre. So I just want to have 2 really big, high toughness creatures here. Although, sorry, I guess I missed some damage here. I could have just targeted. I could have just attacked Tamio with 1. Although we're gonna have lethal next turn, I think. Opponent has the other 3 Tamios in hand. Well, they won't be able to flip it. They only have 1 card in their hand. Also, they have no more Lightstall. Or wait, they did Lightstall something. What did they Lightstall? Another Tamio. Okay, so sorry, stack. Oh, I messed up the stack again. Although I don't have too many cards in hand for it to matter, I guess. Need 1 fetchable Tamio. I mean, yeah, maybe 1 Tamio would be fine. I don't know how often you'd want to get it off of your Starfield Shepherd. I feel like the auto stack doesn't like I have stack automatically. Oh, I guess just click the Haliya ones, right? Of course. All right, we're at 81 live. Draw another card. Your turn. 20 cards left in our deck. Kind of hope they Metook Massacre me now. Your turn. Feels like we're missing a Mockingbird. We have 3 in the deck. I don't think we want a 4th. You just don't have 2 in your opening hand, you know, very often. Okay, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Wait, we still have game 3. Okay, so I'm so good to go. Yeah, this deck has been popping off. Okay, keeping this. Want to set up for Starfield plus Ephemerate on turn 3, hopefully. Opponent's on a mulligan to 6. Watergrave Tamiyo. Tamiyo, very good against us last game. Not gonna just Solitude it, of course. Sorry, I probably should have surveilled, because if I could go next turn Haliya, Lightstall, Solitude, draw a card, and then if I drew a white card, I could go this Ephemerate the following turn. I guess I'll still play one of these, but maybe that was a better line. Would White Flare be worth sideboard for Wrath? Yeah, maybe. I'm open to it. They pitch a Dress Down. That's a great card for them to pitch. Knowing that they have that available is kind of unbelievably big deal. So yeah, so if they go Frog, we can go Haliya, Solitude, Ephemerate, draw a card. They don't have a Frog, though. So they don't have a Frog in their hand. They've mulliganed. Maybe I just Solitude, pitch Haliya, and then try to go Starfield, Ephemerate next turn. It's kind of awkward because of the Dress Down, though. They Surveil instead of Crack the Clue. Okay, that makes you feel better about waiting. Although they do put a counterspell in the yard. Yeah, White Flare doesn't protect against Meathook, but, like, that's not really the main one you want to be protecting against. Okay, so let's keep another one of these. If they just Dress Down, it's not such a big deal. Let me attack first. We know they have Dress Down, exile to Inquisitor. Alright, Stern Scolding, stocks way up there. Yeah, maybe I'll let them get one extra clue. I think we gotta get the Tamiyo off the field, though. Very worried about them having a second copy, though. Not the most worried about a Murktide, though. One card on top, one card on bottom. This was probably the card they kept on top. So what we're hoping happens is that they try to Dress Down my Shepherd, and then I can double Ephemerate it in my instep. Guess I probably shouldn't have shocked right now, actually. I kind of wanted them to think of, like, maybe I had Counterspell in my own hand, but don't know if that actually makes sense. They're at 9. Just the random 2-1's been so good here. Okay, so this was what we wanted to happen. Wait. Okay. Whew. I forgot. I forgot which one would go away. Which would trigger first, the Warp or the Dress Down sack. Thankfully, it was the Dress Down. I definitely should have thought about that. And you know they're a Fatal Push deck. It's just kind of tough for them to kill the Shepherd. I think I'm down to just do this. Alright, so they're at 9. 4 cards in their hand. Hopefully they don't have the Meathook Massacre. If they do, we've got a pretty good follow-up. Probably grabbing Mockingbird. What the island? So I go guide, or guide, copy, guide, 1 energy. Then pride puts me up to 5 energy. So if I get another guide, I could double jump my Starfield Inquisitor, which would get it out of Meathook Massacre range unless they drew a land. Let's try it. Alright, so no jump in here, but the Ephemerate Shepherd plan, pretty powerful. Do I want to trade this light? I think I'm down to trade this for the last card in their hand, whatever it is. Copy Frog. Was that better? Maybe it was. Okay, the last card was Sink. Doesn't mean we don't get Kitty's Blessing, which might mean we don't get to jump next turn. I also get to block the Frog with the Shepherd, and then they have to discard their last card too, or I guess, or their clue card too. Not trading any Kitty's Blessing. Yeah, I think I'm still down to trade. Like, their last card was just so likely to be good that the attack seemed good to me. They put another Sink into their graveyard, and then they don't attack. So they could have a counterspell. Let's see if we find some action. Yeah, I think we have to keep anything that triggers Guide of Souls here, even if it is the worst possible. Also, it is kind of a must counter if theirs is a counterspell, so like it's hard to feel bad about that. All right, does resolve. Let's go to combat. 5 in the air. Then yeah, I don't think we have a good attack with the ground creatures. For 2 more damage. But it's probably going to be Meathook Massacre or bust. We're down on clock. I don't see that often. They're chumping with the Frog. Could they have just top decked Meathook Massacre and they were sandbagging? It doesn't seem super likely. We're not dead to a Meathook Massacre, but oh, they also don't. Oh, they would get to kill my Starfield Shepherd. Never mind. Okay, this gives me another jump, so we'll play it pre-combat. And then, aside from the Shepherd, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think we jump a Witch Enchanter. I'm pretty sure this just puts them dead. They could have something, I guess. Okay, so we are 3-1. We lost 1 match to getting like ridiculously flooded, but this deck has looked phenomenal. We also were up a game against Prowess and dropped to change the mana. 4-1 predictions started. Get your points in. Aerith, yeah, this could be an Aerith deck. I agree. I liked the Aerith deck. I think Haliya and Aerith. There are like Edge of Eternity is awesome. There's just so much to do. I'm just shaking, shaking with all the brews. It's a Flooded Strand. I may be too afraid of Wrath. Yeah, Wrath is kind of tough, but one thing is like your warp creatures are good against Wrath is the theory, I suppose. Right, so they exile a Force of Negation. Force a lot worse when exiled, although not very good against their deck in general, of course. Then they Pending, and then they Surveil. I might want to get my second archive with this Flooded Strand, so let's play out the Witch Enchanter. If they Solitude, I don't really care that much. Care a little bit. Well, if they have Wrath the Skies, we may be in some trouble. They pitch another counterspell, turn that into a cancel. The information from the Inquisitor is also really good. I wasn't exactly sure how that part of the card would play. It seems to be playing like really, really well. They play it to Fairy. They bounce the guide with the counters on it, I'm sure. Yeah. We draw a Phelia, so I guess we're playing that instead of the Ephemerate. Can start flickering this potentially. I guess I need to decide if I want to trade Phelia for the counterspell. I think it's probably... Like, they didn't have Wrath in their hand that turn. Maybe they had Supreme Verdict, though. Okay, how about this? If they surveil and keep a card on top, I don't play Phelia, and if they put a card in the graveyard, I do play Phelia. Okay, they put a card on top, so no Phelia. Because it's just too likely to be a Wrath. They put it on top really fast, also. Okay, so good news, bad news. Quantum Riddler, Starfield Shepherd, Flooded Strand. All right. So they don't have a Solitude. They do have a 3-mana counterspell and a 4-mana Force of Negation available. So it's good to have this. We know they have counterspell from the Lightstall, which is obviously just so nice. The information is like really, really, really good. Yeah, we beat Dimir. We just lost to the black deck where we got really flooded games 2 and 3. That's bad. Consult has also been big all-star. Maybe still kind of a sleeper. So they probably found a Solitude. You can counterspell a warp card. I think I'm gonna try to block. Obviously very happy if they use the counterspell. Because they use the counterspell. They might have another one. I mean, we just might not be able to win. We might draw another good card. We know they have a Force of Negation. Okay. So this is our bait. Huge. Draw 2. If we draw a land, we can Ephemerate also. Okay. This is not that land. Can just cast the Riddler later, though. Okay. So they exile the Riddler before we cast it again from Warp. I guess that makes sense. And then I get my Starfield Shepherd back in exile. Their Ephemerate rebounds, exiles my Guide of Souls. So they also have Quantum Riddler in their build, which I think makes sense. I do think this build is good too, what they're playing. Main phase kick Consult. Do they want the land really badly? It's a little bit weird to main phase, right? I don't think I'm main phasing very often. Then they Riddler. Do they have Ephemerate? No, they're just tapping out. Weird. Not that my turn is super duper good. Four cards in their hand. A lot of good top decks. Including this one. The Force of Negation that when we exiled the Lightstall Inquisitor cannot be cast here, and I don't know how to articulate how insane that is. It's insane. I guess that's how. It's really, really good. Any concerns for getting a planes and Ephemerate to get the guy? We just need spells so badly. I don't think that's really where you want to be. I did think about it. I do think they have another sweeper in their hand. Could be wrong. Can they pitch and pay one? Yeah, they didn't have 1 mana is the problem. Can they just hardcast the Force there? I don't think I can beat another Wrath with my hand. I don't think it's possible. I think we just commit and close our eyes, although I think I expect to lose. Sometimes that's Magic the Gathering. We could maybe top deck Quantum Riddler if that happens. The only thing that can beat a Spike Brew is another Spike Brew. Does that mean they have the Wrath? Nope. Okay, so that means they're playing R75, which is good info. I do think this build's good. Although I guess they have updated with Wrath, which is something we talked about doing. Although they kept some Skyclaves in. I think I just want to cut the Skyclaves and the Phelias from this build for whatever that's worth. Do we have lethal? This doesn't really do anything besides trigger the guides end of turn. Or I guess I draw a card end of turn because of the Solitude. So they're at 9, and then they block 1, 2, 3, and then they take 8. Okay, so they're not dead. 2/2 split between Inquisitor and Consult the Star Charts. Inquisitor? Sorry, I don't know what that is. I probably should, but which card is Inquisitor? Oh, Lightstall Inquisitor. And in this deck, this is not a Consult the Star Charts deck. Sorry, I don't know why I forgot which card Inquisitor was, but I just don't think this is a card you're interested in. Consult. You need to cast when you cast your spells. They need to impact the board every single time. Okay. Stodge Wrath, come on. Yeah, even Interrupters may be really good against all these warp cards alongside Lightstall too. Is this Wrath Disguise? Surely they wouldn't paid me by taking this long to cast a Wrath Disguise. Was it better to leave Pride back? Maybe. Yeah, I guess we get the extra tokens. Okay, the Prismatic Ending a token. Yeah, I guess it was just worth more damage. Then they Riddler, but they only get to draw 1. Then they hardcast a Riddler. And then they get to draw 4 cards. Quantum Riddler is so broken. This card is unbelievable. We might still win, but... So they're going to Prismatic Ending again. So they have 3 blockers. They're at 4. So they block 1, 2, 3. And then it looks like we have exactly lethal. Right? They're at 4. They block these 3. They take 4. So they need a Solitude. They did just draw 4 cards. Close one. Close one. Ugh, feels good. I think the Solitudes are good against them. I don't think the Consigns are great. It's pretty bad against Ephemerate. It's okay against their Skyclaves. I think I might play like 2 Consign over 2 Mockingbirds. I think I want all 4 Solitudes. Keeping this. We have Quantum Riddler. How bad can it be? Oh, sorry. I, again, should have probably reassessed and then gone for the turn 2 Hallya Pride draw card. It's really cool that just these 2 draw a card because you gain 1, 1, 1, 1, and then that's 3, baby. Although playing a threat turn 1 is not so bad. I think it'd been better to Surveil. So yeah, don't delete Vendilion Click from your database. It's just not close to power level anymore. And I say that when I was like 19, no 18. I was 18 and I was working a part-time job at a sushi place, and it was like my first paycheck. I bought a Vendilion Click. That's the very first thing I bought from that job. I was so excited. I loved Vendilion Click. We all love Vendilion Click. It's time to let it go. You can still draw turn 2? No, because I only gained 1. Oh, the Pride gains life. Ah! Okay, just gotta learn the lines. Yeah, so we should have played this last turn. Just cycle. Not the biggest, deal to just get the cycle, but... so I guess what we do now is we warp the Riddler. And if they counterspell, then we Haliya, just draw a card. Yeah, Click was like $50. Like, this is just like incredibly important card. Do you still have that card somewhere? No, I got rid of it a long time ago. While they Solitude the Haliya. That is crazy. The warp cards are so good. They're like, I thought they were going to be really, really good in Modern, and boy, are they. Do you want a Starfield Shepherd? Guess so. Usually the longer you wait on Riddler, the better. They have a Consign. They only have one card in their hand. So now they have 2 cards in their hand. Okay, Consult, it's a good last card to have. They find land Prismatic Ending. They're still so behind. We're back down to 1 card. Yeah, so yeah, I know. I also was confused with Haliya. I thought that it would not trigger unless you gain 3 life. It always triggers, and then after the trigger resolves, if you've gained 3, you get the card. I also assumed it worked the way you're thinking. Maybe I'm grabbing a land here. You know what? I'm gonna grab a Lightstall Inquisitor. I'll just get to know what that last card is and how to play around it. It's a Wrath of Skies. Great card to know about. So now we'll just warp this. I guess we were gonna warp it anyways, but just knowing it's a Wrath is insanely good. Yeah, I was really unsure how Lightstall. Look at my opponent. Thanks for filling out the Google form. I've been joking that we need a Google form for Lightstall Inquisitor. Lightstall's been way better than I thought it would be. So 2 cards in their hand, and then a Wrath of Skies that costs 1 extra in exile here. Now the Wrath, we're pretty safe from the Wrath because it costs 1 more. I think we don't. I think we hold up Ephemerate plus Consign. Will Lightstall bring back Tax Collector Dalny? I really did like that deck a lot. I really wanted that deck to work. Could Consign to stop them from drawing the Ephemerate off of the Riddler. I think that's not where we need to be. No, yeah, Lightstalls don't stack, so if it just always costs 1 more, whether it's gone or not. Okay, so I think I'm Ephemerating the Shepherd. Maybe the last card's Counterspell. That's okay if it is, I guess. Okay, it is. Alright, let me look at my top card. I don't really want to play this into the Wrath I think we just attack with everything, and then if they block here... I think we got to keep that. Yeah, we attack with everything, and if they block the Quantum Riddler, they go to 3, and if they block the 3/2, they go to 2. And so they're incentivized to block here, and then they're just dead on board if they don't cast the Wrath Disguise. Then we get to go Hallya Inquisitor, Guide of Souls. Or sorry, Ocelot Pride. Okay, them having this Ephemerate is really tough, but I can just Consign. And then they have to cast the Wrath. And then on the rebound, they are going to get to draw an extra card. Do I warp the Haliya? I think I warp the Haliya so that if I can play around another Wrath. Since I'm going to have I'm going to have a big board after this. Should have warped and Lightstall that turn. Did you watch this? Did you watch? This was exactly what we were supposed to do. We couldn't have drawn a card off of it, right? And then I forced them to play the Wrath Disguise. I don't think I'm supposed to consign the warp. I'm going to consign this Quantum Riddler trigger. On draw, you would have gotten 2 cards. On draw, you have gotten 2 cards. And you could have cast Hallowed Pride. They would have been forced to Wrath and tap out. Wait, so you have to gain 3 life for Hallya. I could only gain 2. But I'm also I guess I'm confused too how I would have ever drawn 2 cards there. Maybe I'm missing something, but I feel like we played perfectly. If they draw Solitude depending, they don't have to Wrath, and I mean draw step. I don't know, maybe I mean draw step. Wait, what did you want me to do in draw step? I'm confused. So got very flooded first match, totally stomped everybody. I mean, I think Umbral Color Zealot is like far from being like super exciting. Very, very fun deck. You'd have drawn 1 card and 2 cards on draw step. No, but how do I gain the 3rd life to draw the card off the Hallya? Because I gain a life when I cast Hallya. I gain a life when I cast Lightstall. That's 2. I only need 3. All right, pay out the Believers. This deck looked really good. Maybe we'll play like.